Appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much for your time and your perspective. Moving on, ex-Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte is currently on trial by International Criminal Court. On March 17th, activists held a protest and vigil in Hague, urging accountability for Duterte, who faces trial at the ICC for his deadly war on drugs campaign. Duterte appeared via video link at the ICC on the 14th of March and will attend the confirmation of charges hearing on September 23rd. Duterte's crackdown led to thousands of extrajudicial killings allegedly carried out by death squads. In fact, at this point in time, Vice President Sara Duterte, the former president's daughter, has condemned the arrest, labeling it as political persecution and a violation of national sovereignty. She argues that her father's actions were in the interest of national peace and security. Let's take a look at her official statement now.
Tossing the word assassin into this issue makes things even more terrifying for our country, and especially because I never used that term during my recent consternation against the Marcos administration's failure to serve the Filipinos while it masterfully persecutes political and
All right, current President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has acknowledged the arrest, emphasizing that it was conducted in accordance with legal procedures. He has called for calm and urged the public to respect the judicial process as the case progresses. Here's his official statement.
The plane carrying former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte took off at 11:03 p.m. this evening and exited Philippine airspace. The plane is en route to The Hague in the Netherlands, allowing the former president to face charges of crimes against humanity in relation to his bloody war on drugs.
Well, international peace groups and other organizations are calling for an extension of charges, emphasizing the need for justice and accountability in the face of human rights violation. All right, Mr. Ross Feingold, political risk analyst, joins us on the show to talk about this. Mr. Feingold, appreciate you joining us. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Well, there are two sides to this particular arrest. Of course, there is a political animosity which is also being used, and there is also this chatter about extrajudicial killings here. How do you assess this particular situation and arrest?
The interesting thing about Duterte's tenure as president for 6 years, from 2016 to 2022, during which he conducted this war on drugs, is Duterte was voted in by a large amount, and he retained popularity throughout his term. So it often seems like the majority of the Filipino public supported his war on drugs, including the use of extrajudicial violence, and often that resulted in the deaths of people and allegedly the deaths of innocent people. But the majority of Filipinos still supportive of what he did. I mean, obviously the families of people who died during the war on drugs have a different opinion. Certainly there's non-government organizations and civil society organizations in the Philippines who condemn the extrajudicial killings. But Duterte, again, retained a high amount of popularity. Now, the more recent fallout between the Marcos family and President Marcos Jr. and the Duterte family, including current Vice President Sara Duterte, who is Rodrigo Duterte's daughter, also adds another interesting element to this, because when Sara Duterte joined Ferdinand Marcos Jr. as his running mate, at the time it seemed like the two families were on very good terms. And early on, Marcos said he wasn't going to cooperate with the International Criminal Court. Obviously, that's changed, and last week he ordered that Duterte be put on a plane to The Hague.
Mr. Feingold, do you think that this case might also increase divisions in this country's political scenario?
Certainly, as we get closer to the 2028 presidential election, the issue of Duterte versus Marcos family is going to become even more pronounced. Sara Duterte, the current vice president, Rodrigo Duterte's daughter, clearly wants to run for president, but Ferdinand Marcos Jr. seems to have his own plan in mind for one of his family members, a relative of his, to run for president in 2028. So as we go through this judicial process in The Hague, as Rodrigo Duterte goes through this process overseas and within the Philippines, as Sara Duterte and Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s ill will continues to increase, we're definitely going to see a great cleavage in Filipino society, and that's very unfortunate. You know, there's a lot of good news from the Philippines. There's a lot of good news around its economy. There's a lot of positive things happening there. There's really a very good outlook for economic growth in the Philippines, and it has so many good sectors that seem poised for growth. But the political situation, unfortunately, might give foreign investors second thoughts about investing in the Philippines.
Mr. Feingold, appreciate you joining us and filling us with that insight. Thank you so much.